So I'm here at one of my favorite local establishments, Chipotle. And one thing, if you eat Chipotle, I'm sitting here and I'm reading some of their taglines. They say Chipotle as real as it gets, or Chipotle for real. They're all about talking about using real ingredients. And well, as real as it gets seems like a pretty intense slogan for a burrito. It got me thinking that, sometimes I hear people, and maybe you've heard people criticize the church or Christians as being some of the biggest hypocrites that they know. I think when people say that, well, that could be very true, and that's sad that could be true in certain instances, that God doesn't look to people to be hypocrites or just value what's on the outside. That more importantly than anything, God cares about what's going on within our hearts and on the inside. And Jesus really spoke out against the religious people, the people that had the most religious influence in that time, the Pharisees. And he spoke out very clearly against them. Matthew 23 is verse after verse rebuking them and rebuking their hypocrisy. And in verses 25 and 26, he says to them with some really harsh language. He says, "Woe to you, teachers of the law, Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside," he's talking to his disciples now, he said, "but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence." And he goes back to, he says, "Blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and the dish, and then the outside will also be clean." That God truly wants to transform us from the inside out. So when people say that, if people come to you and say, "Well, I don't want to go to church, it's filled with hypocrites," we'll say, well, if you don't like hypocrites, then Jesus is the one that you should follow, because more than anything, Jesus spoke out against hypocrisy. And then for our own personal lives, acknowledge and rejoice in the fact that Jesus doesn't just care about what's going on from the outside and what other people see from us, but more than anything, God values our souls, our inmost being, and the state of our hearts. So let's be more focused on not just how other people perceive us or how we look in the good things that we may do for other people to see, but ultimately ask God, shape my heart and change me from the inside out.